Mesmer was able to convene a large delegation of scientists at the time. Dr. Guillotin was there, the guy from the French Revolution. Antoine Lavoisier, the chemist, and even Benjamin Franklin, the one that you carry around in your pockets in abundance. That guy was the head of that commission, over 20 scientists at the time. And they were studying this idea of animal magnetism. Now, remember what I told you? Mesmer was a foreigner. So instead, what they did is they went to his clinic and spoke to one of his disciples, Monsieur Desmond. You know, he was a student. He wasn't a master yet. And they said, okay, you do this animal magnetism stuff. And they studied him. They couldn't quite demonstrate the existence of animal magnetism. And the report from the commission, which I read it to all of my students in English, showed that, well, the stuff doesn't quite exist. We cannot detect it. To this date, we cannot quite detect it. It's not quite so easy. Later on, you know, the Russian Kirlian came up with the Kirlian photography. We can see some rays of energy. Not so easy to measure exactly what Mesmer was talking about. Not even nowadays, much less back then. So they pronounced that this idea of animal magnetism as being nonsensical, and a war ensued. This was known historically as the pamphlet war. It's like, okay, the pamphlet war. People would be writing pamphlets and papers all the time. Is it real? Is it not real? Is it real? Is it not real? And that went on for quite a few years until Mesmer died in 1815. But by then, hypnosis had already taken off because people discovered, James Braid was a surgeon, a Scottish surgeon, discovered that you could induce the same state that Mesmer induced by making waves and magnetic waves and all. You could induce that with words alone. And so in 1843, he publishes a paper that establishes the modern use of hypnosis as we know it today, not from the Egyptians, but today, using only words, only spoken words to induce the hypnotic state and effect therapeutic change. So this stuff goes back to 1843. And I mention this because other professions that we think of today as being established and official professions did not come about until much later. The chiropractors, for instance, I'm a student of the chiropractors. Dr. David Daniel Palmer discovered the idea of moving vertebral bodies and all this, you know, back in 1895, but the profession wasn't quite established until about 15 years later. The profession became established as we know it today. So hypnosis was already established way earlier. Psychology, of course, is from the 19th century, is much, much more recent. But what these other professions did that the hypnotists never did is they organized. They formed these political bodies. They established licensure laws in all states. I think psychologists got licensure in all 50 states in America as recently as 1977. I believe Missouri was the last state. So this was quite recent that, you know, there was a state license to practice psychology just the other day. But at least they did it. The hypnotists never did it. So hypnotism is still the subject of some controversial comments and some jokes and so forth.